Hey everybody, welcome to the All Team Heat call. And man, oh man, if you went to conference, you are still riding high. That's all I got to say. It was, excuse me, we do say this occasionally, but this had to be absolutely bar none, out of the park, best conference ever. And so we're going to try to give you just little snippets of the conference. We can't obviously cover all of the energy and all of the feeling, but we're hoping that when you hear this, if you're on live now or you watch the recording later, you're going to know without a shadow of a doubt you're going to be in Phoenix, because you're not going to want to miss the next conference. This was absolutely stunning. So Lenora Bayless, 50 Plus Club, would you give us your biggest and best takeaways? And everybody, if this is on recording for some reason, Lenora's camera's not working, so thank goodness we get to still see her with her beautiful avatar. And Lenora, I'm going to turn it over to you. And remember, we're going to keep this, if we can, for each person about 3 minutes. Go for it.
Perfect. Well, I think the thing that happened at this conference that was so powerful is that we were connected with the people that we help. So often when people start a business like this, they're thinking about, gosh, how do I take this to people I love and care about? And they're worried about what they'll think and all of that. And this time we were really connected to the people whose lives were changed, not just by the product. And those testimonials were extremely powerful, but also by the business. And so the two things that I really took away that I think are going to make a difference going forward for me is just the power of accountability. I heard that over and over again about having that buddy that you check in with. And so often we think, okay, well, I don't want to be bugging my upline every day, but I want to just encourage you to find somebody, because there's if most of you are like me, my husband doesn't ask me at the end of the day, so how did you move your Juice Plus business forward today? He doesn't do that. And having somebody that I know is going to pay attention to my forward momentum is powerful for me. So our team that went really committed to that, to do a daily check-in. This is what I was able to do today, and have that mindset that we're going to hold each other accountable every day, and not just for accountability, but to encourage each other. On a day you text blitz 50 people and you hear back from 2, that can be discouraging at times, but with the accountability, with the other people that are doing the same thing, they can pick us up and encourage us and remind us why we're doing what we're doing. The other thing that I really took away, and of course we hear it all the time, the power of the 3-way call. Well, Chris Drobes drove that home so well when she talked about the fact that 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, seriously, if we think there's a health crisis going on, there's a money crisis going on. And she had some awesome questions that I think when we think about 3-way calls, that's what we have to be thinking about is how do we ask questions to really engage that person? So she talked about 3 ways from a couple of different ideas that I had not really thought about. Of course, the attraction, the invitation call when we know someone's interested, but when someone is launching, if they get to that point before they've talked to an NMD, to have the welcome there, build up the new sponsor, talk to them what the process is going to look like. So doing a 3-way then, or a welcome call. She talked about the customer care 3-way call, which just saying, asking them to share their story, and have they thought about anybody else in their life that might benefit from the same information, and then just explore, would they be open to giving referrals or hosting an event, or how would they see themselves as part of our mission? And of course for coaching call, one of my favorite questions that she asked that I just wanted you guys to add to your arsenal is, what's on the back burner of your life that you'd like to move to the front burner? I thought that was just such a great question. Yeah. And so I have lots of them, but that one's going on the list. So it was just an awesome conference. And thanks, Nikki. I appreciate getting to share.
Lenora, you set the bar. You did that in about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Woohoo! And you covered a lot of stuff. So Sandy Abrams, would you like to go next? I'm going to unmute you. You're unmuted. And since I can see you, I can actually spotlight you. And there you go, Sandy Abrams, National Marketing Director from Las Vegas. Woohoo!
Hey everyone, so glad to see you and be with you tonight. So you know how we all want to be contagious. We just want to attract people and we want to attract buddies. Well, we had some great speakers that talked about this. Jonah Berger, who I highly recommend his book. I have it on Kindle and I've read it. And he also has written the book Invisible Influence, which is awesome. But he gave a very engaging talk, and I hope it'll be recorded so you can listen to it. But, you know, he said that to be contagious and attract people, we need to make customers. He had an acronym for STEPS, and you can go to jonahberger.com and go to resources and read all about these. But I'm just going to, I don't have time to go through all of them, but I just want to share a few of them, that making customers and prospects feel like insiders, like they're smart, they're special, they're in the know, giving them tidbits of things that they can then pass on and share with people. And as we're doing it, I just felt like this whole book, everything that he was saying is written for our business, because there's so much of that we can do in our private Facebook groups, in our messaging, in our incredible customer care, and in our just loving on people. And he also talked about making your behavior more public, that people like to emulate people that they respect and admire. And so making the things that you do that you want people to know about and maybe emulate a little bit more public on social media. And then he talked about finding triggers, things that they're going to be able to associate with you and remember. Like maybe gardening. If you have done a really good job, maybe when they think of gardening, they see a tower garden, you know, in their head. And then stories. He said stories are like Trojan horses, and people are more likely to share a memorable story than facts or features of your products. And he said that information travels best under the guise of idle chatter. So when you're caring about people and talking to them and then slipping in little nuggets of your story, that they're going to remember, you know, and that passion of what you care. And he also talked about emotion and caring for people. And we know, we've said this a lot of times, that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's super important. And people also want to help others. So when you have things we were just able to post, and hopefully, I mean, I can post it on the Heat if we don't have it up there already. But number 26, the cancer study on ovarian cancer, that's now out in YouTube. So that's something that can help people by us sharing it with people maybe that have loved ones that have cancer. Okay, and then Jay Martin also talked about being contagious. He says what we have to offer with our virtual franchise is no fear, no overhead, no ceiling, and no walls. But he says that we need to lighten up and our sales will brighten up. And if you can make them laugh, they will buy. And he said, find a buddy. When words fail, music speaks. And he's saying, we are the world. And he said, our mission isn't being the best in the world, but being the best for the world. And caring for people, I mean, that's what we're all about. So anyway, that's what I have. And I want you all in Phoenix.
Whoa, Sandy, you did another, man, you guys are on fire tonight. I'm real proud of you. So everybody under 3 minutes, you're fantastic. Debbie Rudloff, are you ready to go? I'm going to unmute you. And I know you and Jerry are going to share some things. And so just let's be watching the clock and make sure we end on time, and go for it, Debbie and Jerry.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. So what I wanted to talk about was the Nutraceuticals Conference, and not really go over what they did there, except the reason I signed up for it is that I think we've all probably had the soy question or the soy controversy thing that comes up all the time, and I got to see a fabulous presentation, and we now know that soy, I'm sort of a little verklempt because I had trouble getting on. But anyway, I mean, if you want to talk cardiovascular, breast cancer, prostate, thyroid, I mean, I was able to procure the slides from the talk. And so if anybody would like those slides, if you raise your hand, if you'd like to see them, they're a little scientific, a lot of them, but you can use them as a resource. And I guess I'll post them on the Heat page.
Yeah, post them on the Heat Facebook page, Debbie. That would be perfect.
Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to say about it is we had them for years, these nutraceuticals on Saturday mornings, and then they got rid of them for a while. And when you have this nutraceutical conference, it makes it so much easier to try to get a medical professional to conference because they get category 1 continuing ed credits, which they're all required to do every year anyway. So it's just another great way to invite a medical pro to conference. And then the only other thing I wanted to say real quick is that my favorite training of the conference was on Friday afternoon when those 3 gals came up and they had the storybook and they talked about launching. I took snapshots of all that, and they're really not that professional, but I plan on trying to incorporate that into, how I just love the way they did it. It was simple. It was really cool. And that's kind of what was my takeaway. So I'll turn it over to Jerry.
Debbie, fantastic job. Man, you guys are on fire tonight. You're just pouring it out there.
Well, hi, everybody. I didn't know I had to look at myself doing this thing, and we'll get through this. So I got to say, I have never seen, more enthusiasm, more energy, more excitement in a conference than at this last one. And you know how we always say this one was the best one ever? Well, you wonder, why is that? And over 25 years of going to these conferences, it finally dawned on me. It was because the company continually builds on the previous conference, takes what was working there, what works in the field, and then just expands on it. And all of a sudden, wow, we've got a production that's Broadway worthy. I mean, I could not believe some of the music and the different film clips, and the finish was just absolutely spectacular. And then I thought, that there's one thing that really stands out, and it's the people. The people, the culture, and the product. Obviously, when we first got in this business, it was back in '93, and we had NAI. Mark Ledoux came out and he said, "You guys don't understand what you have here. You have no idea what this product's going to do." And now they have become our exclusive encapsulators. They do understand, and we do understand now, and it's just getting better and better as we go along. It's just fantastic what corporate has done. As our partners here in this business, they've got a group of vice presidents that were there before Debbie and I joined. Can you believe that? They're still with the company. And then we've got a bunch of people in the field the same way, that are still with the company 2.5 decades later. So you see longevity with this company. 47 years later, it is maybe the best, I will say the best company in the industry. And we do things that other companies just won't do. And we've got people that, that is really the most, I think, exciting thing about going to the conferences and working this business. It's working with the people you meet. And everyone that's on this call are very special because they understand that too. So it's really easy to love this company, really easy to love, the whole thing that we've put together here. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Jerry, I think you said it really amazingly well. It is easy to love this company because they do respect and love us. And it was so apparent at this conference from beginning to end, the organizational, the timing, the stories that we heard were phenomenal. I mean, I just sat in that, what I felt like when I was sitting with my team, I was at a love fest. And I don't remember ever feeling that palpable as I did this conference. And Lisa, whom I love, I'm going to turn this over you and Jerry. Yeah, that was good, Jerry. I'm going to turn it back to you, Jerry. No, I'm going to turn it back to Lisa and Phil. I'm going to
Jerry.
And I'm going to spotlight you. And Debbie and Jerry, great team tag and great job tonight.
Awesome. Well, this is an amazing wrap up because it was an amazing conference. And I feel that the theme of the conference, I don't even know what it was, but it really should have been your story, because that was the overarching theme. And of course, the close was the most special, the most heartfelt, the most dramatic close we've ever had. And it was so brilliantly orchestrated. And I was fortunate to hear a little bit of the backstory of how that came together. And I believe we have an officer and a gentleman on the call tonight. So I want to thank you guys for your hard work to put that together, because it was definitely such a moment in time. And what I took away from the close, and of course we got to spend time with Terry later that afternoon, which is one of the most important reasons why you go to conferences, not because of what you learn when you're sitting there in the general session. It's the conversation and the dialogue and the relationships that you get to have at the bar, at the restaurants, walking in the elevator, all those things in between. Can't put a price on that. But we talked a lot about it. And not only is it important that we get really good at sharing our story, which we talk so much about in this business, but we have to get really, really good at listening to everyone's story. Every single person that we meet in our life has a story, and we owe it to them to listen with the 2 ears that we have and share with the 1 mouth that we have when it's time, because that is where the relationships happen, the connections happen, the trust happen, and that is when the doors open for us to help them and make a difference into their lives. So that close just really struck the hearts, I think, of all of us. And I think moving forward, we're going to see more like that. And then the second thing that I wanted to share that really hit me was at the Burdick wrap up. And that was the one and only Jeff Roberti, who I know many of us have seen countless times, but he never ceases to amaze me in his mastery of himself. And he shared his very authentic story about how, despite all of his success, his health was not very successful. And I know a lot of us know and have seen Jeff and have worried. I mean, I've worried for Jeff, because Juice Plus will only get you so far. You've got to do more than just swallow those capsules. And we all saw such a huge change in his weight last year at St. Louis. And he said 3 words that I have been thinking about ever since that conference: raise your standards. And I challenge all of you guys tonight. I challenge my team and everyone on this call to really think about how you can raise your standards on your own business, in your own life, in your own mastery of yourself, because that is where it's the best. It's the best. And that's where you can impact more people. So that's what I got out of this conference. So much more, of course, but I'm going to turn it over to the better NMD in the Blaisdell family, Phil, who is going to share. We're going to change seats to do it.
Oh, yummy. And while you're changing seats, Lisa, I'm really glad that you brought up Beverly and Johnny. How proud are we as a Heat team that we had 2 people on the stage that were our team, and the company, chose them out of all the thousands of people to be up there. So Beverly and Johnny, kudos to you guys, and you did an absolutely stunning job. And I would not have remembered to say that, Lisa, if you had not brought that up. It takes a team to make this work, to do acknowledgement and to recognize who we all are, right? Okay, Phil, go for it.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Phil Blaisdell, and this is my first Zoom call, so here we go, Zoom 1. Lisa asked me to say a few words about what I enjoyed about the conference, and then just compare and contrast where I work and my company, which is in corporate America, and Juice Plus company, and what I see. So for me, it's always been the NMD speeches. That's always been my favorite part. It's like I sometimes get a tear. There's always at least 1 or 2 that'll make me cry. And I felt like Juice Plus company really nailed it at the end too, where they did the whole theme on stories. And I'm glad it's nice to hear Officer and a Gentleman are on the call, because that was my favorite one. And I think what was neat to me was I looked around the room while that was happening, and every distributor was connecting to a different story. And I saw one of the gals on our team crying at the end of the row, and I knew when she was talking that was similar to her story. And so I just think that, that was a touching way to end the story. And what really Juice Plus, I think, offers all of us is health. And we all need it, and we all know it. And so maybe it's frustrating, or it's difficult when other people don't get it, or they don't immediately, see the same benefits that we see. And so another thing that I really loved was, you see in Juice Plus, back to Jerry's point about longevity, you see a company that the leaders are preparing for the succession, to hand things off, to continue the tradition, to the culture of, looking out for everybody in the field, along with, I'm sure, everybody in corporate America. And so I love that piece of it. And I love, too, that I saw the similar type of succession in the families. So you could see the Shepleys kids, or you could see the cute little NMD girl that her mom was up on stage with her. And, someday we dream maybe one of our kids or both of our kids will somehow be connected or have Juice Plus, and we'll be able to will that business to them. And, it's an asset that you can hand on to your kids. And so I like that. And, to me, it's just, it's uplifting. There's a lot of healthy people. You see a lot of friends. It's very joyful in the conference. And, Jay is amazing to hear him speak and tell his stories. And I always tend to compare that to where I work today in corporate America, and I deal with large corporations. People are stressed and they're hurrying to the meeting, and there's deadline, there's anxiety, and there's always positive things that come along with some of that. But compared to the Juice Plus company, you see a room full of joyful, amazing, happy 5,000 people, and everybody's got a smile on their face, and they're polite, and it's a whole different way of life. And I just think, if you have, it's an easy decision which one you want. So I can't think of anything else. That's all. I'm going to wrap it there. Thank you, Nikki, for letting me share.
Hey, Phil, you did a great job on your first Zoom call. You're a star. Thank you so much. And it's interesting to hear from somebody who on the day-to-day goes from corporate America to watching Lisa do this business and the differences and be able to appreciate it. And I know Phil, he probably encourages when Lisa's having a down day, he said, yeah, we'll be in corporate America. Take a look at between the two, right? So Michelle Grensing, I am right on your spot now. I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to put you on, oops, you just unmuted yourself. Okay, there you go. And I'm going to spotlight you and take it away, Michelle. You got 3 minutes to rock it.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, well, I'm going to get right into it. I'm sharing from Kim McCall and her 2 brand new NMDs. They did such a wonderful training, the story of sponsorship. And I know all of us that went, and those of you on this call, and then our team that's going to watch this later, we're so excited to go out and make an impact. So the story of sponsorship, we're going to have a lot of that to do. So just some highlights from her training, which she was one of my Q School buddies, so I just absolutely love Kim McCall. But get out and live, GOAL. It's an acronym. We can't just sit behind our computer, sit behind social media. We've got to get out there and live and really embrace our warm circle, build a relationship. It's not an immediate marriage, okay? There was a difference. I thought that was really, really telling. They use the acronym TRE, going through your existing customers, thank them. The one simple change, the T is for thank, the R is for reinforce, why they started, what are the benefits that they're seeing, expand, that's the E, maybe to some other products, programs, or our business, right? Chapter 2 is on goal setting and vision casting. Really what are to offset costs or recurring monthly income, and then some things that they do, their launch meeting, determine their why, really help them with their story, which, Phil and Lisa just talked about, and the company as a whole. Brene Brown in our trainings, we are all hearing the importance of our story, and really this mission, this vehicle helps us to help others really embrace and live out their story rather than just hustling from the outside. So their story, their best form of communication, and when is the best time for them. The websites that you want to introduce your new people to are the missiondrivenmodel.info, the official Juice Plus YouTube channel, the Healthy Living Revolution, which is just totally enhanced, and my very favorite information training, your Juice Plus and your team Facebook pages, and then their own personal website. Also, help them to determine strategies to fiercely protect their focused Juice Plus time. And I love that they talked about that. You know, one of the things that we hear in day-to-day excuses is, you know, I just don't have time. Well, nobody who is a national marketing director works this full-time. So it is a fit for anybody, but there are many other things that we do that are important to us. So really strategize with them and help them to fiercely protect their time. Do a basic virtual office training, and then the steps to align their goals. And if they have a goal of being self-qualified, which is a great, great place to be, and then to duplicate that, you start off with the HLP, that's 3 trios. You go on to the 2000 plus, that's 9 additional trios and a buddy. And then to self-qualify, that's 24 trios. And they do this little sticky note method, and I have a picture of that, and I'll post it in the Heat team page for everyone to see. And then if you want to fast track to sales coordinator, which is the foundation to get you to the top of the marketing plan, you just help 3 buddies do what I just explained, and then you wash, rinse, and repeat. Really, events are so important. Fill up your calendar. A live event, a friends and family call, and a Facebook event is what they recommend in the sponsorship story. Whenever you're inviting to events, make it personal. You want them to hear your voice, okay? Messaging is fine, but use a voice message, okay? At least send the little Facebook voice message. I really like to use that. And, you know, tell them why you really want them there, okay? Chapter 4. I loved whenever one of the things that sometimes people do is they do vendor fairs and stuff. That's a great practical way to practice their conversation skills with people. And Voxer, setting up a Voxer chat is really great. You know, questions are activity, and it's on-demand verbiage in Voxer trainings. So plug them into Voxer. Give them a statement. Keep it simple at first. Give them a statement about what Juice Plus is. Share a couple of quick sentences about your why, and then ask a question. Big decisions happen at big events, so always keep conference in mind. Get them those dates. Talk to them about regionals and boot camps, PPLs, and that was the framework of her training. Y'all, it was so great. I just want to say the culture in the community too. I am always just completely humbled, grateful, overwhelmed. You know, we have an amazing team in the Heat team. But what I see at conference is there's a lot of that. There are so many great teams. There's so many great people that make up those teams. And together we're all one great big team out there making a huge, huge impact and able to make the world better. The Eltons, I made a personal pact. It's so great to see. Okay, first I want to say about the Eltons. So it was my 3rd time being there. You have to have a 12 club or higher to get there. And as I was there, every single person there that I got to see is absolutely incredible. But I thought, you know what? All the other people on my team are incredible. There are so many people in my life that are incredible. And with the nutraceutical conference and with the Eltons, I invited so many random people to conference, and I have never, ever done that before, just for them to experience what we have. And I'm not going to go back to the Eltons unless I have team going with me. That is just my pact. It's so incredibly special. I just am so thankful. So there, was that 3 minutes?
Well, a little bit more, but you did great.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Chris Cotton, you're going to wrap it up from us. Everybody did a really fantastic job. You know, it's the kind of thing that you'd like 45 minutes to take 3 days of absolute joy, the way Phil described, and to feel the energy and to try to share. There will be a wrap up from Kurt Beavers. So for the real information and the training, you don't need to worry about it. But Chris, you're going to wrap this up for us. So go for it, Chris.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm at the cabin. I'm at the lake. I was going to leave early. And so anyway, wrapping up is perfect for me because everybody did a great job tonight. And my whole sense of the conference, and I agree it was the best conference yet, and here we are after 27 years. I couldn't believe how great it was and the energy and everything that everybody talked about. But I thought the overriding message was, if you understand what we have a hold of here, and I'm going to go back to not so much the conference, but when Sean Hopkins was at our house a couple of weeks ago, the new COO, and he said to the audience on a Friday night, he said, we're going into 25 years of Juice Plus. We're doing $600 million a year. You think we don't have a product that works, right? So we're bringing the gift of health to people, and that was so evident on every presentation over the conference and tonight. Our product works. Juice Plus works. Juice Plus changes people's health. So what stops us from getting more people engaged on Juice Plus? There's only one thing. The only one thing that stops us is that sometimes we put ourselves between the message of Juice Plus and the prospect or the client or the person whose life we can change because of fear. Maybe it's fear of what they might think. Maybe it's fear we're going to look like a salesperson. But the truth is, our message has got to get out. And each one of you on the call and each one of your team members that are on may not be on the call, they need to understand this is an important message. We are changing lives with this. We are bringing the gift of health, which is not a small gift. So we have to open up our mouth and share it. So whatever it is that stops you from sharing the message, get over it. Don't put yourself between the message of health, a message that's changing lives and has been changing lives for 24 years, and the potential person whose life you might change. We love that phrase, whose angel are you going to be next? Those of us that have been around for a while, we have those stories. We've got the phone call. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for you've changed my family for the rest of my life. We're changing not just that person in front of you, but we're changing lives for generations. So, don't let whatever hang up, whatever fear, whatever might stop you from just opening your mouth. In the beginning, maybe it's challenging, but you'll get better. But the most important thing you can do, open your mouth, share the message. If I sent you a video, would you watch it? And you know what? It's just going to keep getting better. And you're going to get those same stories that we've all had about thank you so much for changing my life. That's what I've got tonight, Nick.
Great. I'm just going to go back to what Lisa said. This conference was a conference of stories. And we've posted so far 5 of the 6 people that were on the stage. Their stories are actually posted on the HEAT Facebook page, so you can listen to them. The recording in terms of visually is not that great with a phone in the middle of the audience. Thank you, Bunny, for doing that. But close your eyes and listen to these stories because they were transformative and the lives that they talk about were transformed. So listen to those on the HEAT and you'll get a teeny glimpse of conference, and we will see you at Phoenix in 2018 April, right? So will everybody unmute themselves and just shout out one word of what the conference was for you. Just one word. Everybody make it, just unmute yourselves and give us one word. Count of 3.
Educational.
Inspiring.
Phenomenal.
Awesome. Woo!
Bye.
Donna.